Good evening, everybody. Once again, it's Jeff Veale, the business guru from downtown Manila, with a special guest. I've got a special guest today, all the way from Germany. Today, we've been to the UK, we've been to Canada, we've been to Australia, we've been to Sweden. Well, wherever we'll be tomorrow, we'll be in your country. Where are you from? Reach out and talk to the business guru. Come and get your 15 minutes of fame, guys. Think about it. TV commercial, $30,000. Radio spots, 10 or 15 radio spots are going to set you back between $3,000 and $5,000. You can come on here, guys, and talk to the world for free for 15 minutes. It's all about you. We put you across all the social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Reels, TikTok, and more importantly, YouTube, with all your socials underneath, so that people can actually reach out and talk to you. And if they want to, they can do business with you, right? So, guys, that's what it's all about. So today's guest, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her, is a lovely lady called Mona Tenjo. I've only met Mona recently. Her current role, she's a CEO and she's a business consultant. She does business consulting. She works on your business, guys, so that you don't have to. She's right like an angel. She's right on your shoulder. She's there for you, right? She's been in this industry for 6 years and she's very, very tech savvy. She helps, it tells us me here, she helps heart-centered coaches to get started with AI and grow their business and free up time. And time is money, guys. And with AI, she'll save you a lot of time and money, right? Because they're sick and tired of the complex, confusing technology, inconsistent cash flow, frustrated by having to wait on external providers to get things done. Don't we all know that? How many suppliers we got, guys, that come back to us 48 hours later? We need to know now, right? And so she helps them to grow their business confidently on their own terms with super easy AI tools and while having fun. That's always good. Bottom line, I can help them build a 6-figure business in 2 years or less, guaranteed. Hear that word, guys? Guaranteed. But she'll tell you later, you've got to do the work, guys. It won't happen by itself. You have to listen to what she tells you and implement it. Right? Key achievements or projects. She's worked with several stock listed companies in the Dutch, I think it's the Dutch area, DACH, Dutch area of Germany, Austria, Switzerland, helping them implement IT projects during the past 12 years. First as an employee, and she woke up and got out of that. Job is just on broke, guys. And then with her own business, and she brings the industry best practices to small coaching practices that often don't have access to that expertise, you know. And it's a lonely business, guys. We all need a bit of help sometimes, right? A personal motto or philosophy: there's no such thing as a non-tech savvy person, only people that are more or less interested in technology, right? Interesting fact, she was hired to work for an IT company, of a large IT company, with zero IT experience or expertise. And that's how she got started. Richard Branson, I think, said it once: if someone asks you to do something, say yes, and then learn to do it as you go. All right. We all got to learn somewhere, guys. Right. And I'll give you all her contact information, all her socials later, guys. At the end of this chat, we'll put everything down below and you'll be able to contact the lovely Mona. But it gives me great pleasure to introduce you. Good evening, Mona.
Good evening, Jeff.
Mona, I'm going to ask you a few questions here and get you on the right track. Can you tell us about your journey? What inspired you to pursue this actual career and your current choice of jobs?
Yes. So basically, I started really in business. I actually had the choice between medicine and business in the first place. And I was like, I tried the medicine path and I was like, this is a lot of responsibility, having like a human's life in your hands. So I was like,
Sure.
let me try business. Maybe I'm good at that. And so I tried business and I happened to be pretty good at that. Worked my way up really. Like when I started out, I was the AI of the company. So I was the one doing all that stupid work that nobody else wanted to do. Worked my way up, went then back to university, studied business, ended up in consulting, which I really loved. Had a really steep learning curve in that time. Got to meet some really amazing companies and realized after, when I was getting close to 30 years, I was like, what's next? Like my 10-year plan was already reached by that time, and I had to figure out what do I want to do next. And then I started warming up to the thought, I'm German, I'm very safety, right? And so job was like the thing I learned as like, that's the thing to go. And then I had to realize, well, a job is also not that safe, as they always say.
Correct.
So I started warming up to the thought of entrepreneurship and actually realized, okay, you have much more control over what you do when you go in business,
Right.
because
Yeah,
it's up to you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But I laugh, guys. Sometimes, like in my case, I had 200 jobs between 14 and 28. True story. 200 jobs
Yeah.
between 14 and 28 over a 14-year span. I was sick of working for idiots, so I went and worked for a lunatic. I worked for myself. And guys, it can as Mona will tell you, it can be pretty hard work sometimes. It can be chicken and feathers, guys. But you got to keep at it. What's been the most challenging aspect of your work so far, and how have you overcome it, Mona?
I love my clients. They are very right-brained. That usually means they need a lot of management because
Right.
they love to like flock out and say like, oh, shiny object over there. Let me go over there. Let me see that. I was like, go back to your track and continue what you were doing because you were halfway to success. So that is usually like the biggest challenge, like keeping everybody on track, right? But
Yes.
luckily, I'm pretty well equipped doing that. But that's like the thing that sometimes drives me mad was like, what are you doing, guys? You're halfway there. Don't walk away.
Yeah, like I can relate to that. And that's a shiny object syndrome, guys. And I've got that. Every day I see a different software come up on my computer screen with all these emails, and I've just got to have it. It's the latest and greatest video generator or IA, you know, get 1,000 prompts for only $25. Really? That's cheap. I'll get that. You know, it turns out to be crap, guys. You don't need 1,000 prompts. And this young lady is going to teach you how to prompt. All you need to do is a correct way to prompt, guys. You'll never need to buy another prompt again in your life. Can you tell us an important moment in your career that changed the direction in which you were going?
Yes, my very first job I just told you about, I was bored to death.
Right.
Literally. Like that was pre, like Google, like we had Google already, but like it was early, it was like 2003. The best news site was Yahoo by that time. And I was literally sitting a complete summer in that office and I was bored to death. And I promised to myself, never, ever, ever will you be bored again. And then I intentionally went that path on consulting, which was very challenging and very time consuming, but I never regretted that choice because that brought me on that way of high performance and actually delivering value to the world.
Fantastic. In your opinion, what have been some of the key qualities or skills that have contributed to this success over the years? What have you learnt over the years that contributed to all this?
You need persistence. It's not happening the first time you start anything. Like the first time you start anything, we fail. That's normal. I mean, look at every child trying to start walking. That's just natural. But then most people, when we are like, we go to the school system and we think like, oh, we failed, so we're not good at it, so we quit. Like, don't do that. And the second piece, I think, is really a certain piece of resilience. You need to, like, you have to just handle those downturns because they will happen. It's ups and downs, and what comes up comes down sometimes again, right? So you have to handle that. And I think the third piece is really have a really good network around you. Like don't only go with yes sayers who talk after your mouth. You need some people to give you honest feedback, but also you want people who do support your act. Even if you dream big, like you want to have some support of that. Obviously not blind support, but you need to have the right people. If you talk to employees about a business thing, they don't really get it. So
it goes over their head. You're right. How do you stay motivated and continuing to innovate in your particular field? How do you do that?
I stay curious. I mean, AI was the biggest playing ground of my life. Stay curious, try things out. Don't be afraid. You can't break the internet. Don't worry, guys. Just click. I mean, don't click like random links, please, but like if you're inside a software you paid money for, just click everything. What shall happen, So don't be afraid.
It won't blow up, will it? But
exactly.
I think you'd agree with some pretty deep rabbit holes sometimes, isn't there?
It is. Put a timer up and make sure you don't go too deep.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I do that, by the way. I've got to. I got a kitchen timer here, guys, and I put 15 minutes on it. And what I'll do, I'll go to do a job like I'm about to post on LinkedIn. I go, hey, that's a bloody interesting article. What's he mean here? What's that word mean? I'll look up that word on Google, and then away I go. As I said, you got to smack me back on track. I'm well off track. Yeah. Right. Can you discuss a recent project or an achievement that you're particularly proud of?
Yes, I mean, I still work with big corporates today, still, because I'm really good at what I do. So they still call me back, like, can you please help us? And I mean, I usually have several projects at the same time I'm running, and there's big companies as well, which is a lot of fun because they stay on the top of the technology side. So, I mean, big companies had AI already in 2018, 2016. Correct. I started in the corporate world in 2012 after I finished my study. And by that time, they already had Watson from IBM. And so
Yes.
staying in that lane and actually working in such projects keeps you on the edge of technology. So we just did recently a very big project for a stock listed company, and actually like upgraded the entire IT infrastructure on getting them up to the modern state of art, which was a big project and really interesting. And a lot of learnings also, again, for the small business owners, because they make the same mistakes.
Well,
So
basically what you're saying there, you can take companies with your skills and ability and a team from tens of thousands of dollars to possibly tens of millions of dollars.
absolutely.
That's just the way technology is going these days, guys. If you don't use it, I mean, why would you go around in a horse and buggy when you can drive a car? Why would you drive a car when you can drive a Ferrari? And it just goes on and on and on, you know.
Absolutely.
What advice would you particularly give a young aspiring young gentleman or young lady to follow in your footsteps? What advice would you give them?
I mean, really, at the one hand, I think you sometimes have to go through the bad stuff. That's part of it, right? So you
Sure.
cannot just expect like, hey, like follow your passion, and like on the way you will lose your passion sometimes because like sometimes like stuff happens and it's not fun, and this is part of it. So don't only focus on that positive things, thinking that negative things will never happen. There are certain tasks in any business you just have to do. If you like them or not, doesn't matter. So don't be blinded by that reality of like, ooh, everything is like roses and sunshine. Like, no, I mean, there's work to it, do the work and you will come out on the other side. And I mean, I once had a coach saying, if any problem can be solved with money, if you don't think that's true, you don't have enough. That's the point. So if you are successful in what you do, you will automatically, and if you add value to the world, you will automatically attract the right people into your life. The money will come as a result of giving value and solving problems. So if you don't have enough money in the bank, solve more problems. So that will come automatically. And then again, the fun will also come in once you're successful, everything is fun.
They say money won't make you happy, but it's a better form of misery. You can, have a good time. Looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations for the future, please, Mona?
I actually want to have 1,000 coaches really earn their worth. Because most coaches, I mean, coaching is one of the fastest growing industries in the world, but most coaches in the US don't even earn up to 50,000 on average, which is a tragedy for the value they give to the world. And I want to help them earn their worth.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I know some guys out there who are my age or a bit less, right? And they've got like 20, 30 years worth of knowledge. And they some of them don't know how to package it up and put it into a package and present it to people and just continually give value, because the old story, you don't know what you don't know, right? A simple one, guys. Let's say, take a restaurant scenario. I do a lot with restaurants. I tell people, the first thing I tell them to do, if you've got a new client, give them a red napkin. And they go, well, why would I do that? I say, because all your old customers have got a white napkin, but the guys with the red napkin, your staff can now pay, even though everyone gets a good service, they can pay particularly good attention to these people, give them great service, and you'll get a repeat client. Next time I can have a white napkin, but they won't be new. So just basic stuff like common sense stuff, guys, and Mona's an expert on common sense. She doesn't have any miracles, guys. She keeps it really simple for you. She uses AI and good technology to show you like a roadmap to show you the direction to go in, guys. So what you should be doing is reaching out to her, having a chat, and more importantly, listening to what she tells you. Mona, I'm going to wrap this up shortly, but how can listeners reach out, our listeners here, reach out and find out a bit more about you and your wonderful services?
I mean, the easiest really is just type my name, monatenjo.com, and you will end up on my LinkedIn profile. And from there, you have all the links to go to the websites and to any other information.
And don't forget that, guys. It's in the top left-hand corner right there for the people who are dumb like me. It's right there for you. And by the way, my team's going to drop all the socials down below. And so everything will be there, guys, up on YouTube. And I suggest you reach out to this lovely lady and she'll be able to help you. Especially with AI, guys, it's changing. Mona will tell you, it's changing every day. What you thought you knew last week sometimes is obsolete, right? Before we wrap up, can you share a fun fact about yourself that most people would not know?
I'm a hardcore hip hopper. I don't know, most people would never guess that. But like I mean, I listen to a lot of different music, but I grew up a lot of hip hop, like the old school stuff, the 90s, right? The cool stuff.
Yeah. Very interesting. All right, you've been a wonderful guest, Mona. And guys, I'm going to wrap this up now. But if you want 15 minutes of fame, you'll see all my details underneath Mona's details on my YouTube. So reach out, get your 15 minutes of fame, and let the world know what you do, because the world needs more good people. So we're all good people. We want to help you. So reach out to myself, reach out to Mona, and we're here to help you guys. Thanks very much for coming today, Mona. It's been a pleasure enjoying being here.
And that's all, folks.